So how do you create a new campaign? And how do you create a campaign that's set up for success from the very beginning? Because there's a lot of settings that you can choose in your campaign, and not all of them are actually conducive to doing really well. So here's how you do that. When you log into AdWords, most of the time you'll end up here, which is your home screen. And you're going to see, if you've been running this account for a while, you'll see data. This account doesn't have this data yet, so it's all kind of blank. But here's how you would go about creating a new campaign. So for example, if you're selling a new service or you're doing a drastically different targeting method, you would create a new campaign. So you're going to come over here and click the word campaigns. That's going to take you to all of your available campaigns. If you're over here on the campaigns tag, instead of the ad groups tag, you will see all the campaigns you have running. So for example, there's one campaign right here. I'm going to click the new campaign button, the plus campaign button, and I'm going to select search network only. Now, you will sometimes need to do display network only ad campaigns. Always, always, always only choose search network only or display network only. Okay, you do not want to bundle those two together. Shopping campaigns, that's its whole own thing. We can get into that later if it's appropriate, but for right now, you're always going to start with search network only because that's usually the most powerful and the cheapest network to target. So we're going to click search network only. That's going to take us to the screen, which is the campaign settings. A couple of things I want you to think about. We're going to select all features. Actually, you can select standard or all features. I usually do all features just because it gives you some more options. We're going to name the campaign something that's descriptive. And again, we talked about having naming conventions so that you can quickly look at your account and figure out which is where. So I might, for example, say Barrett coaching program, women 50 to 55, right? So I'm putting my target demographic and the service that I'm offering. You can load settings from existing campaigns, but let's assume you don't have any existing campaigns. You're going to come down here to networks and you're going to deselect search partners. Search partners, again, are websites like eBay and ask.com that display Google search results. We don't want that because we don't get a lot of data there. And you can certainly play around with targeting those later, but for right now, let's do that. Devices, there's nothing to do. On locations, you can choose your location. I might, for example, say I'm going to do Connecticut, which is where I live, right? So I could do that as a custom location, or I could do just the United States. Let's keep the United States for right now. Now, in Location Options Advanced, which is right here, you can choose who you target and exclude. I usually target people in my targeted location rather than people in searching for or viewing pages about my targeted location. Now, this is a little hard sometimes because Google's understanding of where you are can sometimes be a little spotty. And in general, you're going to get a lower volume here. So if you're really focused in on getting a lot of people, I would do the top one. If you're really focused on maximizing your cost efficiency, I would choose the second one. We'll just choose the top one for now. Languages, I would always use English, assuming that you're targeting English speakers, and want to make sure that there's nothing else in here, which there isn't. Scrolling down, shopping channels, we've got to choose online or local. Let's just leave it on online. You don't have to do anything specifically here. You just have to choose one of those options. Now, for bid strategy, you always want to select I'll manually set my bids for clicks. Now, in the advanced options, you'll see some other things. For example, like enhanced cost per click, set a flexible bid strategy, focus on conversions. These will usually be available to you if you really optimize your account. You have a lot of conversion tracking, etc., already set up. So we're going to stick with the basic options and just select I'll manually set my bids for clicks. We don't want AdWords to try to maximize clicks with my target budget. Default bid, that's going to depend obviously on your market, and you may have some data on this, you may not. If you don't know where to start, I usually just choose $2. It's a nice round number. Budget per day, obviously that's also going to depend. Let's just set for $10 right now. Your budget might be $500 a day, it might be $10 a day, it might be $1,000 a day. Totally depends. Now, delivery method, advanced. There's two options here, standard and accelerated. We want standard. We don't want accelerated. Okay? Accelerated is just going to try to spend your budget really quickly. And there's sometimes you may want to do that, but almost always, for most people, you're going to want standard. Now we're going to scroll down. Ad extensions are fantastic, and you should absolutely put ad extensions in most of your campaigns. But you don't have to do this here. So if you're not sure what these are yet, or you're not sure what you're going to do, we can leave it and add them into our campaigns later on. Scheduling just helps us set a schedule for our ads. So for example, we could say that we want our ads to start on the 6th and end on the 10th. We can say we want our ads to air during a certain amount of time, so like 9 to 5, but I don't want any scheduling. I'm just going to leave this. Okay. Ad delivery. Now, you've got a couple different options here, and one of the most important options you can set is coming down here and selecting rotate indefinitely. Okay. If you optimize for clicks, Google's going to drive as many clicks as possible without caring whether you do conversions. Optimize for conversions is actually a pretty attractive option if you want to do a low kind of management style on your campaign, but you usually can't use it because you need to have conversion tracking already set up, and I know a lot of people are just getting started. So we want to rotate indefinitely, which is going to evenly display our ads over time and give us time to test and gather our own data. Dynamic search ads you really don't need because this is sort of just going to use website data to target your ads. Not really important right now. It doesn't affect what we're doing. So I'm going to click Save and Continue. Once you click Save and Continue, you're just on to creating the ad. And we'll kind of talk about that in a separate thing. You can add your keywords, etc. But those settings in the beginning, where we're setting those campaign settings, they're super, super important to get right. So again, focus primarily on making sure that you rotate your ads indefinitely, making sure that your ads are targeted geographically correctly, and making sure that your language and your delivery, your bid and all that stuff are set up the right way. If you do that, you're setting a really strong foundation that you can then build on when you build your ad group, which we'll get to in the next video.